was young, I climbed up too high just to touch the sun. On my mission, no prescription, shoot for number one. Start a riot, won't keep quiet, I'm a ride or die. Heart is pumping, keep it coming, better run it high. I was born for this, I was born for this. I was born for this, I was born for this.
So my name is Favour Nelson Neamaka. I'm from Enugu State, Nigeria. I was born in Kano though, but all my life I've lived in Abuja. I got into modeling. It's not so big here, but we're pushing. I'm also a makeup artist. Get the look. This happened in 2006. I was 6 years old. So what happened? I can't remember the exact date, but I know it was in May 2006. Yeah, it was on a Sunday. So my family and we had gone to visit my aunt who had just given birth. So while we were there, my maternal grandma, because this was my mom's sister, so my maternal grandma was around, and they had more visitors. So I went with my siblings. I had my cousins, and so we were asked to go to the children's room to play because they wanted to have a discussion and they didn't want to get distracted with the children. So we went to the children's room to play. So while we were at the children's room playing, there's this cupboard, well, not cupboard actually, a wardrobe. From the wardrobe, we were jumping down to the bed. Like it was this 24 inches, something. So we were jumping down, bounce, and go back up to the wardrobe and jump again. So on my third attempt, I jumped down and I did not land well. Let's say I landed with my left arm behind my back, and then I was just 6+, so I had tender bones obviously, and so that was how I landed, and I just heard it. I didn't feel anything at first, but suddenly the room went silent. So my brothers and my cousins, everybody just stopped. They were like, "Where did that sound come from?" And me too, I didn't. So when I tried to stand, that was when it hit me. I screamed and stuff. Before you know, woo! Everybody from the sitting room, my parents, my aunts, my uncle, everybody just came, guns are blazing. What happened? Why? They heard my scream, so that was what happened. And then, there was someone there, a neighbor of my aunt. Yeah, she advised us. That was when we found out I had broken my arm because I couldn't move, so something was wrong. So she said, she broke her arm, so we should go to this traditional bone healers, because her daughter had broken her arm once, and it was the same person who did it, and her hand is good, she's upright, everything is fine. So we went there. So when we got there, the man did all this stuff and everything, and he asked us to come back after 3 days. Yeah, because he had done this bone sticks, when you set the bone with sticks entirely. Yeah, so we left, went home. So on the second day, or was it the third day? No, it was actually 4 days. Actually, he said we should come after 4 days. So on the third day, I can remember, I was in severe pain. Like, I was in pains, but then that third day became so unbearable. I could barely I could barely eat. Even I couldn't sleep. I was very uncomfortable. I was not doing well. So my mom was like, no, we have to go and meet this person because it's not up to 4 days, but I'm a mess. So we went to see the man, and when we got there, he looked at it and he was like, stuff like at this point he knew something was wrong, because he was like, on his face, I could see the confusion. We could see the confusion on his face. It was like he doesn't understand why I'm in such pain, because I'm supposed to be feeling better. So, and he looked at the arm and everything. The arm was already like swollen, like about 2 sizes of my normal arm, and it was not a good sight, to be honest. So at this point, my mom was like, okay, let's just go to the hospital. So when we went to the hospital, we went to a hospital in Wuse, and I don't know, I think the doctor or someone looked at me and they referred me to another hospital. So we went to Asokoro General. So that was where we were at the waiting room, kind of emergency actually. Then the doctor in charge came and he looked at the arm and he was like, by then I was no longer in pains, like I was just numb, basically. I was numb, I couldn't feel anything. So the doctor looked at my arm, he examined me, and he was like, that the arm it has collapsed, and so it needed to be removed because the bad blood was already kind of like around here, and he didn't want the bad blood to get to my heart because that would have been fatal. So after explaining everything, so my parents had to sign the undertaking for us to go to surgery immediately. So we went to, after that, prepared me for surgery, and we went to the theater. So when we got to the theater, there was something wrong. I think I got the story from my mom. There was no blood. Like my blood group was not available at the blood bank, so they had to send the people to go to other hospitals to get. They were like in haste, but they couldn't get my blood type. So my mom, I remember my mom told me she was just panicking because what's happening and everything. Everybody was trying to figure out stuff. And then all of a sudden, they were able to do the operation without extra blood. They didn't need it. So when I say God works in mysterious ways, people think I'm being corny, but trust me, I've seen it. So I won't say it if I haven't seen it. I've lived it, so I know this. So that's what happened, and the surgery was a success. I got out of surgery, and so we stayed in the hospital for 4 months plus. I think I was and in that course of staying in the hospital, I had to undergo 3 more surgeries. It was not pleasant. I was almost 7, so it was horrible. My family, everybody was just tired of the whole situation. But then that was what actually happened to me. I dealt with a lot of self-esteem issue. I was always a very lively little girl, and this kind of girl to just be happy around and make everybody happy. But then after that experience, I didn't want to go back to school. Funny enough, I even wrote my exams in the hospital when I lost my arm. My class teacher brought my papers to the exam to the hospital so I could take my exam, and I passed. I got into the second class. Going back to the hospital, I was like, why can't I just stay home and be homeschooled? I don't want to have to go back to school. But eventually I did, and it was not pleasant. There were people who my friends back then, some were still kind to me and caring, while some were indifferent. They were not. They were kind of felt like they were scared of me. They were scared to sit by me and stuff. Like I felt weird, like I was no longer, the normal human being too. But then I had lots of friends back then. I was just a shell of my former self. I just go to school, come back home, and just stay. I was not jovial. I was going through it. So my family actually played a huge part in my recovery process, especially my brother. Bless his soul, he's late now. Yeah, that's my immediate senior brother. His name is Prosper. But at least I saw him in school with me, so that helped me a lot to cope in the environment, in the schooling environment. So yeah, that's what happened at school. Then at home, it was horrible. I didn't want to do anything. I had to start learning how to do stuff with just one arm, and it was frustrating because I became very, frustrated. I became aggressive when I can't do stuff. When you're frustrated and you're like, I don't want to do it. Just leave me alone, So it took a while for me to actually learn. So my family helped me. It was a gradual process, a very gradual process, because it did not happen suddenly. So every day was a battle. I had to battle. Is this how you want to continue living? What are you going to make of your life today? Are you going to just sit and sulk? Taking pictures then was also a challenge for me because I was always taking pictures like this. This was my pose. You will see this hand because I had not gotten past it, to be able to stand this way and take pictures, So if you don't know me personally, you will know that and you will really think, why is this girl always taking pictures, standing like this, thinking maybe that's just how I wanna. But I was trying to avoid. I was not 100% okay with it. When I finally, was able to see more of people modeling and stuff, I'll be like, I would really like to model, I would like to feel pretty, look pretty, and just, have fun with it. So I didn't know how to, kickstart it, but then, I don't know, it just happened. Last year, I did a photo shoot for my birthday, and that was the first time that I actually showed my arm, like my bare arm. I bared it out to the camera and to people on the internet. So it was a big step for me. It was like long overdue, but I didn't want to rush it. I want to take my time because this kind of thing that if you try too hard to just get it over with, it will just crumble, and before you know, you're back to square one. You won't feel good and stuff. So I was like, what's the point? Now I've accepted myself. So you see, it's a gradual process to these things. Like, I still get lots of messages from other amputees like myself, like, how do you do this? I'm not comfortable. I don't know how to, like, you're so brave, showing everybody, acting like you don't care. Like, trust me, I do care. It doesn't get easier. You only get tougher. That's the honest truth about this thing, that you don't have to rush it. Take your time. Everybody's different. Everybody, like, I grieved my former self for the longest time. I did. And when I eventually snapped out of it, I'm like, no, there's no turning back at this point. This is how I want to, this is what I want to do now. I don't want to have to feel like I'm different. I want to feel like I'm normal. So what if I don't have, what can you do that I can't do? Well, except tying my shoes. So this is a quote I found from, it's by Oliver Wendell Holmes, and ever since I found this quote online, I've been like, this has been my driving purpose. I'm like, when I read it just resounded to me anytime I read it, every morning actually, it's like my morning ritual. I just remember this quote and I'm like, That's it. Ever since this happened to me, like ever since I lost my arm, I've always said I'm going to have a charitable organization for amputees. So that is where I'm going to. But then in terms of my future, what do I want to do in my life? That, and I've always had this passion for showbiz. Like showbiz. So like I said, I want to host stuff, probably go into acting, just like, really, how many amputees have you seen on the big screen? That's why I said, like, no limitations are self-imposed. Like, I'm going to do it. I don't know how. Like, there's so many things in my life that has happened to me. I can't explain it. I only get answers. So I don't know this is going to happen, but I'm going to see it manifest. I'm very sure of that. By the time you get out of your comfort zone, there's so much that's out there in the world for you to achieve. Just go out, and any dreams you have, just put your mind to it and do it. Nobody's stopping you. You are your only obstacle. So once you just get ahead and you see that you are great. So that's what I tell myself every day, and that's what I tell people that care to listen to me. That's what I tell them.
So I lift my hands to the God that guides me, to the one that finds me. Even in my darkest days, he walks beside me singing songs of freedom, always singing songs of life. And they're leading me out of the darkness, and they're bringing me into the light. Hey, he never said it would be easy. No, he never said we would be safe. My hope, my